It's time for the DeSoto County School Board to come to order. Stand please and say the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Time for us to approve the agenda. Are there any additions or deletions? So, recommendation.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the agenda.
Okay. Do I have a motion to this effect? Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. None opposed. The motion passed. Superintendent's report, Mr. Olson.
Thank you, Madam President. I've got one employee legal matter that I'll ask the board to consider in executive session today. And we have an employee that we would like to recognize today during the superintendent's report. I want to ask Lake Corner High School Principal, Mr. John Sargent, please come forward. Tell us a little bit about our employee that we received.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Today I get the privilege of introducing Coach Christian Crawford. Coach Christian Crawford is about to start his 6th year here at Lake Corner High School. He started as a special education teacher. Now he works in our history department. During this time, he was an assistant baseball coach. He currently is an assistant football coach. He also is our head powerlifting coach. And I can tell you just from working with Coach Crawford, everything he does, he puts his heart and soul into it. He is great with our students on and off the field. And he is just a great representation of our Gator family. Today, we're so honored that we get to recognize him for all of his hard work as the head powerlifting coach, as he has been named the 2022 MAC Head Powerlifting Coach of the Year.
Let's start if you'll come up. Let's great job. Thanks, sir. Y'all come up. I know you appreciate it. Y'all come up. A little more informal today. We got a lot smaller crowds. There you go. Doesn't happen. Oh, you want to get in the picture? Come on in here now. Y'all can all get in there then. Yeah. Y'all come on. You're a Christian. Proud of it. All right. Congratulations. Y'all are welcome to stay if y'all like to go. I would probably walk right there. Good work. All right. Now we have got our internship report, Mr. Jonathan Hodges. Good morning.
This is for the first quarter, January, February, March of 2022. I was really close to having the second quarter ready, but don't quite have everything in from the June so that we could put all that together and put it in the first quarter. always the pie chart, always knowing where the interview's going, what we're spending it on. And then we're just gonna dive right into it, go straight into the primary, elementary, intermediate schools. Everything in yellow at the bottom is our 2022 numbers. You're gonna see kind of a trend here where it's all going slightly up. And you're gonna see that across the board except for one place. Which we'll get to. And these are your middle schools. Again, most of them slightly uptick above from what we were in 2021 in the first quarter. The charts are actually making it a lot worse than it really promised. These are the high schools. You notice a lot of high schools actually don't go up. They're kind of stair-stepping in odd directions. Well, there is one that I'm going to point out here, right here. And then these are your Career Tech East, Career Tech West, DCAC, transportation, and they're actually here at the county. Which the county office one should actually change. I don't know if you saw a lot of the trucks parked out back, a lot of stuff going on. We are in the process of replacing the boiler that actually keeps this building. We upgraded to a much more efficient system because last year the old boiler actually had some issues. So it was a much older system. I think it was actually in the 1980s. It was actually installed. So now we have our new boiler, and it is half the size of the other boiler and still does the same amount of work. So we should see some great improvement here at the county office during the winter. These are the numbers from 2018 to 2022. You can see we're slightly above 2020 throughout the first quarter. It was actually only $38,912 and some change above 2021. And actually with the increase in prices of energy, we actually didn't fare back at all. Just because of the increase of what electricity and what gas went up throughout this year. Average temperature in 2021 was 47 throughout those 3 months, and it was 46 this year. So not much of a difference there, a little bit cooler, about the same amount of days, under 30 is what we had in 2021. And the one thing that I want to mention, I'll go back to the chart on you. Lewisburg High School. They dropped their first quarter total from 2021 to 2022 comparatively by $16,000. That's 24% of their bill. They're going to accomplish. I mean, it was all electricity. When we pull the bills and we look at everything and we put it into, I put it into my chart. You can look at it, and kind of see where we're trending. The only issue is it's after the fact. So we don't know how bad we did until we get to it. Nothing's in real time. But 24% is huge. I mean, the only way they get that's by keeping your doors closed. That's by turning your lights off when you're done, or when you're out of the room for even 5 minutes. It takes everybody, and it starts to add up. It makes a big difference. So that school alone was down almost $17,000 throughout the months. That's gigantic. I mean, that's basically it. Do you have any questions or anything like that? Yes, sir.
Do we have any comparison as far as the school heated by electricity as opposed to natural gas?
Not exactly. No school does 100% electricity. All of them use natural gas in some way, whether we do have a few schools such as like Lewisburg Intermediate and Center Hill Middle that are heat pump for the classrooms themselves, but the actual hallways and fresh air units do use gas as well as heat the kitchen and the cafeteria. But I mean, that is something that if you want to see, I can pull up and show you the comparison between that school. And actually what I can do is the new Lewisburg Middle School and Lewisburg Intermediate almost mirror each other. Lewisburg Middle is slightly larger than the new Lewisburg than the old Lewisburg Intermediate. But Lewisburg Middle went with natural gas, whereas Lewisburg Intermediate is actually mostly heat pump. So I can actually take those two and compare them side by side and give you a decent outlook of what the difference is in between.
It would be interesting to see.
I can probably tell you based on what I've seen is that Lewisburg Middle is going to be better. And it's not only because it's gas, and gas is slightly cheaper than the heat pump to run. It's because the equipment that we put on Lewisburg Middle School is relevant. And that equipment right there can use outside air to help heat and cool the building. Basically, if the temperature is low enough outside, it'll bring in free air. If it's warm enough outside, it'll bring in free heat versus Lewisburg Intermediate being 2009 equipment. It can't quite do what Lewisburg. And then, we're right in the middle of school starting up, so we're pretty busy.
That was gonna be my next comment. I know you, Mr. White, Mr. Hall, gotta get back at it. It's a very busy time of year.
Yes, sir. 97 work orders since July 8th to today. That doesn't include today.
Wait till August first.
Yes.
I was talking to one of the guys, the other day, and, they just come off the roof and try to get everything done now, but when all those air conditioners start cranking up on August first, that's when more problems.
Oh, yeah.
I know y'all will be ready. Y'all always are.
We're trying to stay ahead of it.
Yeah.
The weather's not cooperating.
Exactly right. I know y'all get as much done as you can now, but until we get everybody to build it, that's when you see other problems pop up. But I know y'all will.
Yes, sir.
Great, thank you.
Great
Appreciate y'all doing
Good job.
it. Y'all have a great day. That concludes my superintendent.
Mr. Geek is not here,
Right.
so we're going to have an attorney's report. Okay, now we're going to, I need to approval of the minutes from July the 7th, 2022 board meeting. Do I have a motion?
I like that motion.
Do I have a second? Second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
None opposed? Aye. Consent agenda, items A through double X. Mr. Olston, do you have a recommendation for those?
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the consent agenda.
Do I have a motion to that effect?
Make that motion.
Do I have a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, the motion passed. New business. Mr. Williams, bids for RFP ACT prep program.
We had a request for proposal for 27 for an ACT preparatory program for the district. The RFPs were submitted for evaluation of 7 vendors. My recommendation is accept the proposal submitted by Jumpstart Tech Prep based on their response to our RFP tabulated scores from the evaluation.
Thank you. Your recommendation, sir.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the proposal from Jumpstart Test Prep for ACT Prep Program.
All right, do I have that in a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Yes, sir. Mr. Williams again.
Yes, ma'am, we're requesting permission from the board to enter into a contractual agreement with Jumpstart Test Prep for their ACT preparatory program.
Mr. Olson, your recommendation, sir?
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve entering into a contractual agreement with Jumpstart Test Prep for the ACT Prep.
I need a motion. Do I have a motion?
So good.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Mr. Williams, the bids for RFP phonics program for grades K through 12.
Yes, ma'am, the RFP was opened on June the 27th, for the program for grade K through 12. They were submitted by 2 vendors. My recommendation is accept the proposal submitted by Reading Horizon based on their response to the RFP and the tabulated score.
Your recommendation, sir.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the program, the phonics program through Reading Horizons based on their proposal.
I need a motion.
I make that motion.
I need a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Mr. Williams.
Yes, ma'am, we're requesting permission from the board to enter into a contractual agreement with Reading Horizons for the K-12 phonics program.
Your recommendation, sir.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve entering into a contractual agreement with Reading Horizons for the phonics program for grades K through 12.
All right. I have that in motion. I need a second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Mr. Williams.
Yes, ma'am. On June the 30th, we opened up an auction for interactive panels. We had one vendor whose proposal was inadvertently overlooked, resulting in that vendor not being allowed to have access to the bid system. We're requesting permission from the board to rebid the interactive panels and if the board votes to reject the current bid.
Recommendation, sir.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve rejecting the bids for the interactive panels.
I need a motion.
I'll make that motion.
I need a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Mr. Williams.
Yes, ma'am. We're requesting permission from the board to rebid for interactive panels for the 22-23 school year.
Your recommendation, sir.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve advertising for the rebid for the interactive panels.
I need this in a motion.
I make a motion, we advertise for interactive.
I need a second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Mr. Williams.
Yes, ma'am. In your packet, is a letter from Lake Former Middle, explaining that they did not have a PO in place before having an outside dance coach come in and do training. The finance department and the principal are working together to put additional internal controls in place to prevent it from happening in the future. Right now, Lake Former Middle is requesting permission from the board to pay the vendor for the services rendered. And I will say, this is that school, because I went back and looked at that, purchase infraction, this school, this 3 on here, but this is the first.
Recommendation, sir.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the request to pay the vendor for the purchase and rule issue at Lake Forest Middle School.
Do I have this in a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Mr. Williams.
Yes, ma'am. Item H is the same request from Lake Forest Middle, but this is for the cheer trainer. So this is the first year they've had a dance trainer and a cheer trainer. Same incident, and they're requesting your permission to pay the vendor for the services.
Recommendation, sir.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the request to pay the vendor for the purchase and rule issue at Lake Forest.
Do I have this in a motion? Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion passed. I think that's all for you, isn't it? One more?
I got one more.
Okay, I'm sorry.
This is item I. It's from a letter in the packet from Lake Forest Middle again. This is for yearbooks. Typically, the parents pay online. They pay the balance away. This year, they didn't have enough parents to pay, and so there was a balance. And they're asking permission from the board to pay life touch for the yearbook that they did not have a key.
Your recommendation, sir.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the request to pay the vendor for the purchase and rule issue at Lake Forest.
Do I have this in a motion? Need a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you, Mr. Williams.
You're welcome.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, Ms. Hackett.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good.
Ms. Graves is at administrative staff development. We've just got that going on. She and Ms. Hadley are working together.
Okay, do you have a combined balance sheet for May of 2022? Ms. Hadley? I can't read nothing. Sorry about that.
No, that's fine.
Statement of revenue and expenditures for May 2022. Ms. Hadley.
The revenue collections through May for general funds are $278,263,723, which is up 10% over last year at $253,888,154. With the increase mainly due to the increase in MAEP and Apple. Apple is up about 15% over FY21 at the end of May. Revenue for all funds $326,955,231, up 4% over this time last year. The general fund expenditures for May are $224,326,914, which remains steady at 3% over FY21. It remains 2% lower than projected. The general fund continues to benefit from federal ESSER funds and certificates of participation.
Thank you. Your recommendation, sir?
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the statement of revenue and expenditures for May 2022.
Do I have this in a motion? Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Okay, combined, is that where we are now?
Yes, ma'am.
Combined balance sheet, May 2022.
The fund balance for all general funds for May is $161,960,517, which is 23% higher than FY21 at $131,676,749. The increase is due to a combination of the millage transfer from the GO bonds and a transfer in FY21 from general funds to miscellaneous construction.
Your recommendation, sir?
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the combined balance sheet for May 2022.
Do I have a motion for this? I need a second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Statement of cash flow, May 2022.
Yes, ma'am. The May cash balance for district maintenance is $156,136,403, which is 75% of the cash balance for all funds, which stands at $208,910,864. The amount invested with Smith Shellnut at the end of May is $28,855,590.
Thank you. Your recommendation, sir.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the statement of cash flow for May 2022.
Do I have a motion to this effect? Need a second?
Second.
Ms. Riley, I'm taking motion from Mr. Nichols and second from Ms. Emily.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you. Ms. Hasselman. Good morning.
All right, board policy GBRL. We are asking to revise this policy to include information from the Mississippi Medical Cannabis Act stating that DeSoto County Schools will not allow medical marijuana to be used on their campuses and that the district may take adverse employment actions against an employee who uses medical marijuana. This revision is recommended by the Mississippi School Board Association.
Your recommendation, sir?
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the revised board policy GBRL for drug-free schools and work.
Do I have this in a motion?
I make.
I need a second. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion passed. Revised board policy GBRM2, drug and alcohol testing policy. Mrs. Hanson.
Yes, ma'am. Under the Medical Cannabis Act, the district is allowed to establish and enforce a drug testing policy that does include medical marijuana. Therefore, this policy is being revised to include medical marijuana and/or cannabis derivatives as drugs that are strictly prohibited while on district property or while performing district business. Employees will be subject to disciplinary action if they are found to be under the influence of these drugs. Again, this is a recommendation by the Mississippi School Board Association.
Your recommendation, sir?
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve revised board policy GBRM2, drug and alcohol testing.
I need a motion. I need a second. Okay, thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Ms. Hasselman, revised board policy GCDB, classified personnel transfer.
Yes, ma'am. This policy is being revised to clarify language within the policy and to specify that an electronic transfer request form will now be required for transfer.
Recommendation, sir.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the revised board policy GCDB for classified personnel transfer.
Revised board policy GCDBB, teachers request for transfer. Ms. Hasselman.
Ms. Riley,
Oh. I need a motion.
GCDB.
Yeah, GCDB, I need a motion to. Okay, I need a second, please. I'm sorry. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, the motion passed. Now, revised board policy GCDBB, teacher request for transfer, Ms. Hassman.
This policy is again being revised to clarify language within the policy and to specify that an electronic transfer request form will now be required for those requests.
Your recommendation, sir.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve revised board policy GCDBB for teacher request for transfer.
I need this in a motion.
Make that motion.
I need a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion passed. Revised board policy JGCDC, administering medications to students, Ms. Hassman.
Yes, ma'am, we're asking to revise this policy to include medical marijuana and to state that DeSoto County Schools will not allow the administration of medical marijuana or cannabis derivatives to students while on school property. This revision is recommended by the City School Board.
Your recommendation, sir.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve revised board policy JGCDC for administering medications to students.
I need this in a motion.
I make that motion.
I need a second, please. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say none opposed. Ayes have it. Motion passed.
Just one question there. What if students never accomplish goals that they given something much to do?
Then at that time, we would request that the parents come and check out the student, give them the medication themselves, and then bring the student back on campus.
Thank you.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Thank you so much. Mr. Alexander.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Pages 1 through 7 are recommendations. Page 8 to 11 is personnel changes. Page 12 is a memo from myself on salary corrections for the 22-23 school year. Page 13 is a memo from myself on the superintendent's goals for the 22-23 school year. Page 14 is a memo from Ms. Goss, Director of Special Education, requesting compensation for one of our sign language interpreters who did work for a total of 2 hours on July 11th. Page 15 is a memo from Mr. White, our plant maintenance director, requesting comp time from Mr. Thompson, a maintenance employee at Centerville High School who worked for 1 hour and 15 minutes on July 1st. Page 16 is a memo from Mr. Williams, Director of Transportation, on a request to change 6 existing drivers to training units to regular bus aid units and to add 7 new regular bus aids. These units will be paid through district funds per the regular bus aid scale. Page 17 is a memo from the Sample Executive Director of Academic Support and Skill Improvement, requesting to approve additional pay for Ms. Amer for 2.5 hours over the 40 hours approved for the reading count. Page 18 is a memo from Ms. Goss on a request to reclassify the 504 coordinator position to a 504 supervisor position. This will be a 230-day position and will work for just 230 days. Pages 19 through 21 is the 504 supervisor job description. Page 22 is a request for additional pay from Ms. Goss on splitting the med chair to 2 people from South Haven Middle School. They'll work for 15 hours each, beginning July 22nd, ending June the 30th, 2023 at 2023 at rate of $30 per hour. We need to have that approved.
Recommendations.
Madam President, I recommend to the board to approve personnel as presented.
I need a motion to this.
I'll make that motion.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. Ayes have it.
Used for the last page, page 23, I need to accept the resignation of the projector technician.
Your recommendations.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve page 23 of personnel as presented.
I need this in a motion. Second. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Mr. Culver,
Yes, ma'am. I have about 4 items to discuss in executive session.
thank you. I need a motion for consideration of closed session to determine whether the board should enter executive session for the following matters: residency appeals and personnel matter. The motion has been made. Second. All in favor? Aye. Ayes have it. We will go into executive in and see if we need to stay in executive session. Mr. Chase will come out and let you know.